Hey, everybody, welcome to the Gadsden State Softball Show with Coach Ryan Clark. I'm the Howard Cheney with QB1, Randy Cunningham, and he's got a grin on his face. So go ahead, Randy. I know you got something to say.
Phone fell as soon as Coach Clark said something's going to fall during the show. As soon as you went to the countdown, phone, table, everything fell.
I jinxed it.
So, yep, yep. As soon as you went to the countdown, I was grabbing stuff up off the floor. So,
Oh, me. Coach Clark, how's everything going?
Going good. Going good. How are you guys?
Doing good. If I'm not mistaken, this week is the last week you can actually have anything to do with your players.
Yeah, through this week.
So you got this full week, and then after that, they don't have to see that pretty face of yours no more for a while.
Yeah. So can you repeat that last part? I did cut through for some reason.
Yeah, you heard what I said. I'm not going to say it again.
Oh, I didn't hear it. It cut out.
hey, my daughter wishes she could get that set up too. She could on the mama and daddy scholarship.
Yeah. Yeah. The mom and dad scholarship's the best one sometimes.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this fall season and everything. You had a lot of away games, which that was done on purpose to try to see how the team would do away. And so tell us your outlook. Give yourself a grade as far as your team and everything. How would your team grade out right now at the end of the season?
I would say in some aspects, um, we'll say in pitching, we were probably a B plus defensively. B plus offensively. I think we were probably a B minus. We were starting to figure some things out late in the fall, some approaches and you know our mindset at the plate. So overall, I would say I would give us a solid B through the fall. There's a lot of room for improvement. Still working to work some kinks out of some of the players, and that's what this off season really is for.
And for Randy, B's are actually good.
Do what?
For Randy, B's are actually good. He's never saw a B in his life.
That's true.
Steve gets degrees. That's all I'm going to say. Steve gets degrees.
Mhm. Unfortunately, we just are. Fortunately, I don't think any of our players have that motto about D's get degrees or C's get degrees. I hope so. GPAs come out pretty soon here in the next few weeks, so we'll
It's all
see.
right. It's all right, Coach. I wasn't exactly a go getter in college, so
It happens.
yeah.
Coach, you gave yourself a pretty good grade, so there's only room to really go up from here. What do you got planned going on this week since you don't have any games or anything? What are y'all just going to have some inter squad games? I guess you can say.
Well, we're already starting to cut it back and go individuals and condition and small group hitting, and we moved inside today because it's a little chilly, but small group hitting, condition, and lifting.
You didn't get out there and practice in the snow today.
We went out there and we came right back in. I said, we got that whole gym, we got the whole conference center. We're gonna go inside. It's not 38 is okay, but when the wind's blowing, 38 is not okay.
38's only good if that's an age,
Yeah,
and that's only if you're 58 like me. So
and then you got all these all of our players with the $500-600 bats. We're not swinging those outside when it's 38 with a wind chill of 20. So we'll find a warmer day. We'll get back at it pretty soon. But we were able to get inside, get some cuts today, and get a little conditioning done.
A serious question though. You're talking about this is like the second time you mentioned this in the last couple of months. The high dollar bat swinging in the cold weather. What would it do to them if I
It can
mean
bust them. It can well, they can bust when it's 100 degrees outside, but I think most of the bat warranties say something about 35 or 40 degrees. If it's below that, then they're not going to cover it. So we try to help that out in any way we can. Now there's sometimes we won't be able to help it. We play a game that might be 38 degrees outside, but not many of those. So we try to limit it as much as we possibly can.
one more question? I'll turn it over to Randy. The bats, the equipments, and all that. I know the girls got their own gloves. They probably had the same gloves for years, but the bats and all that. Does Gadsden State supply some of the bats, or is that something that the girls do themselves? How does that work out?
We've got a few team bats, but I always talk about pitchers being a little crazy, but hitters are a little crazy when it comes to those bats too. So they most of the time they have their own bat, so we don't do a bat deal. Whatever they're comfortable swinging, I encourage them to swing that, and we try to see what everybody's swinging throughout the fall, and that's what we kind of order our team bats based off of.
Randy, it seems like he's got everything going on, getting ready for this couple months break, and then all of a sudden, before you realize it, we're going to be in January, and it's going to be a regular season.
Yeah, it's coming fast. Coach, what do you do with this time here on a dad level? You gonna do some things with the kids?
Oh yeah, the next 2 weekends I'm recruiting over in Georgia, and then after that I've got the entire week of Thanksgiving where I've got nothing to do, so I'll be at home a whole lot that week. Then I got 2 more weekends of recruiting, and then I'm pretty much home for a long time between through the week and on the weekends up until season starts.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. Uh, Families of coaches sacrifice wildly, and you're a family of two coaches. Do you and your wife, whenever you have a little bit of time in the off season, go, "Hey, I've got this for now. You go do what you need to do." So,
Oh yeah. Well, anytime I get the opportunity, there were times during volleyball season where we might have been off on a Saturday and they had a volleyball tournament. So, there were times we just had a tag team and one of us be at home and one not. So our schedules worked out pretty well for us. But that just getting out and being able to do something instead of stuck at home all the time, it helps a little bit too.
yeah. Well, the thing about it, though, is down the road, and I say it every day, it counts for your kids because my daughter grew up in every press box in Tennessee and Alabama and Georgia. Great kids grow up at the ball field, and
Right.
that's an advantage yours is always going to have.
Oh yeah, builds character in several different ways.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Especially when I came in tonight and I had a wrestling. I don't know how this wrestling thing's going to go, but we're going to try it. So,
Oh yeah.
uh, Coach, how are we going to deal with we got a couple of girls you've been dealing with injuries with that you expect to get back in spring. Is it going to be early spring, or are you waiting? Is it all going to be just their body's timeline?
I'm thinking in the next couple of weeks they're going to be possibly released fully. However, at that point we're not doing any team stuff, but still being able to be released fully is going to help them. So they'll get a few weeks here uh, before we go into Christmas for them to be able to go out and work on their own and do some things, and um, while they're being fully released, so that way they're not very far behind when we come back in January.
Do you as a staff and yourself, how cautious do you have to be? Is it based on the player to limit them? I know some are probably smart about, hey, I'm coming back off of a blank. I'm going to limit myself. But you've also probably got the other thing. I'm coming off an ACL, so I'm going to go run a mile and a half on my first full day back.
Yeah, so it's you gotta make sure there's a happy balance there you got to find. If you rush them back too soon, then you're gonna risk that injury again. But I'm a firm believer in our sports medicine, and I think our trainer does a pretty good job of getting them back and getting them healthy, and she won't let us have them until she's confident that they're 100%. So at that point they're 100%. The thing's probably in better shape than it ever has been. With speaking of the ACL, it's probably in better shape than it's ever been. So when she feels like they're 100% and she releases them fully to us, then kind of slowly work into stuff, but it's full speed not long after.
So when they come back in the spring, will you start in the cage or will you go immediately into live ABs?
So right now they're actually so they get cleared in stations, I guess. So the very first thing they were allowed to do is hit off a tee. So they've been able to do that for a little bit. Now they're able to. Then they moved to front toss. They were able to do that, and then they were able to take a few cuts off the machine. So they've not taken any live at bats, but in the spring, I have no doubt right out of the gate we'll be able to do live at bats because they are working up one thing at a time. So the
Coach,
next is live.
how how excited does a young lady get to take their first, maybe it's in the cage, but their first swings? That's got to be an exhilarating experience for them after such a amount of time in rehab.
Oh, no doubt. Well, the first day they were able to swing, I thought I was going to have to run them out of there and make them go home because they were. My arm was about to fall off because they just kept wanting more and more cuts, which is okay. I told them, I said, I'll be here as long as you want to be here. And so they finally got a little tired because they weren't used to doing that a lot, but they're excited.
All right, let's jump to the other side. And Howie, I'll come back to you after this. Coming back in after Christmas break, is there a cautionary period as you bring up activity among the team? That, you bring them in the first day, you want to, I imagine the first week is really heavy on stretch and body, just getting stuff movement
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. So, we kind of give them a plan that they're supposed to follow through the break because it is a very long break in college. So they've got a plan that they're supposed to fit. They're supposed to follow. We come back and we're heavy on stretch early, heavy on arm care, and making sure that we're stretching and rehabbing our arms the way we should be right out of the gate because that's when it's cold. Very important that we're rehabbing and doing all the right things.
Do you deal with, and I don't think we do in softball as much as just a more natural pitching motion than overhand pitching. But do you still deal with stuff like Tommy John and UCLA joints, UCL joints, or is it just the natural motion limits that?
Tommy John's not as much. The UCL that's very rare in softball. Now it can happen. Obviously, it's more likely to happen to a position player, but you still get the shoulders. That's you can still get overuse of the shoulder, inflammation of the shoulder. So you can still get some shoulder injuries. It is more of a natural movement, they say, but if you've ever attempted to throw a softball underhand really hard, don't feel right to me. So, and it's probably because I don't do it right. But that's supposedly a more natural movement, but you still have your shoulder injuries. You still have tightness and soreness in the shoulder. You got to take care of.
Howie, I got one more question to follow up. Coach, do you think the average fan understands what a 65-mile-an-hour fastball from 48 foot looks like?
Probably not. It is moving. So today, actually, one of the assistant baseball coaches got in the batter's box while one of our pitchers was throwing because he wanted to see what 65, 64 looks like, and his eyes kind of got a little big because it jumps and it's there quickly. Because by the time she's releasing that ball, she's 35, 36 feet away from home plate. So it gets there fast.
But the rubber is like 48. Is it
43.
48?
43.
43?
Yeah.
God, that's sudden.
Yeah, it's close.
Is that the advantage of having tall pitchers? That stride just gets them that much.
Either tall or somebody that's really strong with their legs that can drive out and gain some ground. And that puts it on the batter even quicker.
Mm. Howie, I'm just going to be sitting in the bleachers eating popcorn. Uh, I don't want to look at 65 miles at 43 foot. I don't even want to see 65 miles at 143 foot, but that's me.
I won't see, Coach. That's why I want to come down and see one of your practices and stand in that batter's box, see what one of them looks like.
Oh yeah.
So I'll be in contact. I can't do it this week, but once y'all get back after first of the year, I'd like to come down and just. I don't want to try to hit one. There's no way. I don't want to embarrass myself. I want to see. I want to see one coming at me. And whatever you do, please don't have her throw at me. Just throw a regular pitch.
Go on, Howie. I'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Coach, it seems like maybe a lot of your girls are watching this now. We got a lot of viewers tonight, so
Uh-oh.
I think a lot of your girls may be watching this stuff tonight.
Yeah,
And I
we
don't know if
jumped
you,
up.
yeah, jumped up to a lot there for a while.
I'll make sure that we're not saying anything bad about him now.
Yeah, Jason Trailer says, "Go, Coach Clark. Too much blue." I know you know who that is, and
Oh yeah. I wave.
so is one of your girls named Caitlin Clark?
That's my wife.
Okay, she puts a smile. She puts a sad face on there, like
So
crying. So is she disappointed because you're fixing to be at home a lot?
yeah, that may have been what it was. I said
I'm
something about
thinking,
being at home a lot, and so that's maybe what it was. I'm not sure. So yeah, it'll be all right.
Coach, I like that hat there. Is it look like it's got a white and a red trim on it?
It does. Yeah.
That's sweet. That logo, I know we've talked about it a couple times in the past, but that is a
The
sweet
hat
logo
was
right
the
there.
hat was actually supposed to be a different color, but I actually liked it when we got it in. First, I was upset when I opened the box because it wasn't supposed to look like this, but I ended up liking it. So
Looks good. So, um, you girls, we kind of joked a little bit earlier about the grade point average and all that. Once this week is over with, will they still have to come to your like study hall type stuff, or can they just go to their regular classes and kind of bypass all that?
no, they'll still have study hall hours as part of being an athlete here. So they'll still have the study hall hours, and then the ones they know who they are. They still got 4 hours rather than two, and so they're still going to be um, doing the study hall hours with maybe a little bit less of a distraction.
Coach, I'd like to nominate a name for the 4 hour students, and let's call them the Randall Cunningham Scholars. That's
That's what
got
they
the
call
extra.
the Randall Cunningham Award.
Yeah, that's got the extra time. That's my favorite kids right there. Just
I
kind
would
of know.
I probably would have had 4 hours all the time too. So
I probably got 8.
yeah.
I know you're gonna miss the girls when you're not around them as much. After this week, uh, what are the limitations or the time frame as far as I know you can't work with them, but can you be in contact with them some during that
Oh
time?
yeah, yeah. And I'll do that over the break. Check in with some, make sure everything's going good, or making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And yeah, the contact can be open, and making sure that they're everything's good and they're doing what they're supposed to do.
So do you? I don't want to say paper because I know that's the thing of the past, but do you send out a email or a text saying, okay, here's your program that you got to do between now and by the time we roll around in spring?
Yeah, so even right now, so they already have kind of a hitting plan that they're supposed to be following right now on our lighter days. So we give them 3 days of a hitting plan. So anytime that we're doing something a little lighter, maybe not taking as many cuts, that's when they're suggested to go get those 3 days. So they already have the hitting plan, the conditioning plan will be sent to them as soon as we're out for the break.
And that's the hitting and everything. How about your pitching? Do you want your pitchers to pitch so much per week during that break?
Yeah, we'll get them to pitch a little bit, but we also don't want them to be dead when they come back or throw 5 days a week. We'll have a plan for them as well and kind of have some build up stuff to where when they're back on campus they're ready to throw. So that it'll build up to where they're throwing maybe a bullpen, couple bullpens a week by the end of the break.
And I guess the closer the season gets around, you're going to ramp them up just a little bit more, ramp everybody up a little bit more, won't you?
Oh yeah, yeah. So we'll have some, and we've had our exit meeting, so we've kind of talked about who's going to be in what role, starting pitchers, relief pitchers. So there's different levels of where they need to get to. So our starters, we want to try to push them to see if how close to seven they can get. If it's five, then it's five. But they're going to try to get as close to seven as they can get. And our relievers, we tell them, we train them to be at 4 innings. So anytime they go out, to be able to throw 4 innings. So that means if the starters had a really rough day and has to come out after three, then we can finish that game.
So your pitchers already know who's going to be the starting pitchers, and they already know their roles and everything. So it's no guessing as far as when they come back.
Correct.
That's cool. That's good. I was going to ask that question because what if somebody comes in and just kind of lights the world on fire and improves so much during this next 2 months? I guess you were willing to.
Huh.
I guess all this stuff is not.
All lineups and roles are to be determined. So they can change at any moment. If somebody goes out and throws a no hit 4 innings in relief, she may start the next series out. So all that's to be determined. But they kind of know where we project them to be in the spring, and we can always change that. I want the best nine. So if she's the best nine that week at pitching, then she's going to be the one throwing.
Has the schedule came out already for the spring?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, we've got all of our home games on our website. A lot of the away games are starting to put those in now, so times and all that stuff will be listed on our website. We'll also release through our social medias in the next couple of weeks a full schedule. My favorite thing in the world is when people screenshot it and save it, because in the game of softball, there's more changes and time changes and moving dates just because of rainouts and whatever else may be. And then when the players don't get that information out to their families, they show up 4 hours early. So, my favorite thing in the world is when they screenshot it and think that that's going to be do or die what the time and date is. But we all know how baseball and softball works. You're going to have some rainouts, you're going to have some date changes.
Awesome, Randy.
Coach, we've been guilty of talking a lot about pitching and infield. I want to talk about outfield for just a minute. What can you as a staff do to work on your outfielders' jump or get them a better jump? Or is that something that's just natural?
The initial jump that's a lot of natural reaction, but we do a lot of angle drills, and we do we call gap shots, where they're having to sprint and catch the ball on the run, because that's one of the toughest things you can do as an outfielder. We teach them right-handed hitter which way you're supposed to open, left-handed hitter which way you're supposed to open, because most of the time, more likely than not, the ball is going to tail off of a right-hander or a left-hander hitting the ball the other way. So, we teach them all that stuff, and we talk through it. And I mean, at shorter, one of our starting outfielders, she opened the wrong way, and she got turned around out there instead of opening the
Mm.
correct way that she needed to. And by the time she got in the dugout, she was already telling me that she opened the wrong way. So that means that she knew that, and something we work. And so the initial jump, though, it's a lot of natural reaction, but being able to read the ball in the air and take the correct angles, we work on that stuff a good bit with our outfielders.
It's one of the most athletic things you can do is be an outfielder. I
Yeah,
really, I've went out and I shagged balls a few times in the playing baseball, and it's not an easy thing to look at something flying through the air and judge distance and speed, and you're doing a lot of mental math in your head. But do you find the more they just spend time out there on the grass, the more natural it becomes a little bit?
yeah, I think so. I think the more you do it and the more you see it, the easier it gets to read. We've got several good outfielders that could get us a lot of innings this year, but they're all pretty natural about seeing that ball and being able to take that jump. And but it is sprinting full speed, catching a ball in the air is tough to do if you've never tried it. So I know a lot of people get upset when one of those get dropped, and I'm one of them. I get upset every time gets dropped or we don't get to it, but that's very tough to do, especially because they have to deal with something the infielders don't usually have to deal with, and the sun's going to be in their eyes. So the ball gets elevated at all, they may be looking up in the sun. So you got to add that element too.
How much interaction is the outfield and having with the dugout as far as moving them, or is that a thing like you want them to be able to do themselves?
A lot of times I will move them. So different scenarios will make us need to move the infield in or move the
Yeah.
outfield in or the outfield back. Depending on what hitter it is, sometimes we'll go to a 2/3 outfield, which means our entire three outfielders are in 2/3 of the outfield. So we may be playing a gap in one side and the center fielder playing the gap in the other, and then the whichever way we're shifted, that outfielder playing the line. So there's a lot of different ways we actually move them, and it depends on the pitch, the hitter, and all kinds of different things.
And there could be positioning for pitchers, individual. I'm sure if you've got a big power pitcher, the ability to ride the ball is always, there. So you might play back to that where, with a breaking ball pitcher, you might play up, and that can change with each pitcher, and that's I think those girls are remarkable that play the outfield. I've tried it. I
Yeah,
actually been beamed in the head with a fly ball, so we've all done it.
oh
That
yeah,
explains a lot right there.
yeah.
It does. It does. Uh, what can they do, Coach? And how I'll come to you after this. What can an outfielder do in the dead period to just go out and get a friend to hit them fly balls or something?
Yeah, so um, they can go get some fly balls, and our facilities is always available to them. We've got machines out there. They can get somebody to shoot them fly balls, and that's what we do a lot of. We take a lot of reps off of the machine because you can spin it and make it cut and do all kinds of stuff. So that's always available to them as well.
All right, Coach. I didn't even know there was a such thing as a fly ball simulator. Is that just a different form of like a pitching gun or something?
Well, no, it's just one of our pitching machines that we can elevate. So we've got three machines. We've got one that we kind of is multi-purpose. We take ground balls off of it. We take fly balls off of it. So that way, if we're taking a lot of reps that day, somebody's not having to swing a fungo 40 times. You can kind of put that machine exactly where you want it, set it, and just drop the ball in. So that is a tool we use more than anything. Probably is that machine. So um, it's always available to them. They can roll it out there and have somebody shoot fly balls to them.
Coach Ryan Clark on the fungo. Is he a great fungo hitter, a good fungo hitter, or we don't want Coach Clark hitting his balls?
Oh no, I can put it where I want to. I've been doing it long enough. I can. Well, I'll tell you this: I don't use a fungo anymore because swinging a fungo at a softball is a lot different than swinging a fungo at a baseball. So I just use a bat now. But I can put it where I want to, and um, I miss hit a couple of times, but it's not very often.
Nice, nice. Howie, take it over.
You kind of sound like Coach Van. You're the best out there on the field at the moment.
Van could,
Well,
if me and Van were swinging fungo together, it would not a contest.
I have heard of some softball games that got rather heated back in the Sylvania football days. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. My team always beat his, but that's beside the point. So
I, our friend, the late Nathan Parham, I heard, fired himself as an umpire in these games at one point.
there's no doubt he got fired up that one of those days. He told every one of us if we ever needed an umpire again, he wasn't doing it. So it was it was a good time. He did. He said I'm not doing it ever again. So and I think the next year I think he actually went home during that time period. Like I don't think he even stuck around us. I think he went to his house during that time period.
I don't blame him.
I don't either. Not one bit.
Well, Coach, Randy kind of touched on a little bit. You're going to be spending time with your kids while you're not having to do all the recruiting and everything here in the next few weeks. What family time wise, what do y'all got? Do y'all have anything planned to do during this time? I know you got Thanksgiving come up, Christmas and all that, but do y'all have maybe a getaway that y'all want to try to do before you can't get away no more?
Well, we had thought about. I thought about Coach Russo's got a place up in Gatlinburg. I thought about trying to get us something. We go up there for a few days, but to be honest with you, I'm not sure exactly what I was planning. Caitlin just tells me where to be and when to be there most of the time, and I just show up. She does all the planning, so I'll just probably be just wherever she tells me to be during those time periods.
So is it kind of like on Christmas when your kids are opening up their presents, you're as surprised as they are?
Well, not for Christmas. I get into that. So we actually have already started doing some Christmas shopping and um, toys that they'll play with for 4 months and they'll just sit there forever. But no, I get into Christmas, so we've already started on that.
I remember the days when I used to look forward to seeing what my kids got myself.
Oh
So, I just gave the money and
yeah, there'll be some things in there that I'll just kind of look. Where'd that come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I buy that? I don't know.
Hey,
So
I'm a single parent, and that happens sometimes.
yeah, that's all right.
so, your coaching staff and all them, will y'all still have like weekly meetings or bi-weekly meetings after this week is up?
No, we kind of disperse. We won't start meeting back up till after Christmas. We do have a couple of camps and stuff that we're going to run. So I've got one with Russo that we're doing in Albertville, and then we've got one as a whole coaching staff we're going to do here. So we'll be together, and then they'll be coming in during whatever time period that their positions there. So if it's hitters, Coach Russo will be up here, and if it's pitchers, Coach Delaney and Coach Hart will be up here, and so they'll be in and out, but they're not. They don't have to be here 24/7 like I do right now. Russo's actually in Gatlinburg right now, so
Coach Hart will be there for study hall.
he'll be there.
Yeah.
That's where he's at right now. To be honest with you.
Is he actually teaching, or is one of the other
Oh no,
girls
no,
teaching?
no, no. One of our girls usually he's got tutors that are hired into his center that do all the tutoring. He has to supervise.
He marks absent or present. That's his job, I believe.
Yep.
But we
Yep.
won't talk
He,
about
ma-
it.
he makes sure nobody gets harmed, and I think that's the extent of it during that time. But he sets it up. He does a good job setting all that up, and he's got several students within the school, not just athletes, that come in and they get tutoring. Not by him.
No, we got a comment here from Miss Caitlin Clark saying he is banned from booking vacations after he and Van booked a cabin up next to Jesus in Gatlinburg.
That was a different trip. Me and Van, listen, the place was nice, and we thought it was nice, so we booked it, and it was about 4 miles above sea level. And just so happens the time that we're going, Gatlinburg was under a wind advisory. I have never in my life seen wind gusts like that. I thought the cabin was coming out. I thought we were going to get blown off the side of the mountain. It was so bad. Well, Justin Lee, he works for FEMA, so he wasn't scared. He was standing outside on the porch, and it sounded like a tornado was coming through there the whole time. We sent like our wives and kids all to the basement, and like it was interesting. And then the next night, after all that rolls through, the thickest fog you've ever seen in your life. You can't see to get back up to this place, and it was a nice place. It really was, but it was a different experience, that's for sure.
It's all right, Coach Clark. I got buzzed by a wild turkey at one of those places one time. And there ain't nothing like a big turkey flying straight at your head to make you come to Jesus.
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, we were way up there. So we looked the next day, and the wind gusts were getting up to 90, 95 miles per hour. Like it was just like a small tornado, and we're just listening to that log cabin crack and pop, and I thought there was a couple times we were goners.
So it's came out now that you are banned from booking vacations.
Yeah, I'd be okay.
I bet you Hannah Van and tell us the same thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, they were not having it. They just went straight to the basement and said, "Hey, y'all are staying up here." So me and him were staying in this. Both there's two couches in this living room that we're sleeping on, just in case it got bad enough we had to jump down in the basement. But there's two couches up there, and I thought a few times we were goners. It woke us up a few times. It was nerve wracking.
So who actually booked it? Was it you or Tyler?
I think Tyler did, but me and him both agreed that it was good. So it was probably just as much my fault. We did it after football practice, or no, it was during the spring, so it's probably after a softball practice or something. So yeah,
And
we,
it's
we won't be doing that again.
And
Not
let's go
in,
ahead and give a big shout out to Coach Van and his Scottsboro Wildcats making it to the second round of the playoffs.
yep, that's why I hadn't been back. They, they win when I'm not there. I just have to watch from afar now.
How
I,
much do you miss coaching football, though?
nah,
You don't
I
miss it?
really, to be honest with you, I made the right choice when I stepped away from it. But I miss the relationships and stuff like that. But I don't miss the hours and getting screamed at by Van and having to scream back at him. And but no, I miss the relationships and I miss some of the parts of coaching football. But overall, I'm a spring sport coach, and that's probably what I'll always be.
That was a good staff, though, Coach. That was a good, very good staff.
Fun.
Yeah, you never knew what was going to happen from
I,
night to
I,
night.
Or what was
I
going to
know too. I know not to get on the headsets. I put it that way.
be.
Just probably safer not to get on there.
No doubt.
Yep. One of the things I remember Coach Arnold saying, he's like, "Well, we're going to be okay," and I'm like, "How you know?" He's like, "Well, Coach Clark and Coach Van's at each other already."
Yeah.
I'm like, "It's not even kickoff yet." He said, "Well, that's a good sign." I said, "Okay."
It would happen before kickoff, during kickoff. It was fun though.
Greatest line ever.
It was all in the
Ryan, Coach Clark, you ever going to stop them? That was after play 3. And they were
yeah.
punting.
Oh yeah. We ever gonna get the ball back? Well, if you quit scoring in one play, maybe we could get a rest. And it was always back and forth. I was thankful they were scoring so fast, but the defense had to stay on the field all night. So
3 plays, and he was upset that wasn't ever going to get the football back.
yeah, I know. Just have to tell him calm down. He'll get over it. He'll be fine.
So back to your girls at Gadsden State there. You got a lot of girls that's going to have more experience this year than you did last year. How much do you think that's going to help your team out, not only in the win-loss record, but also with these new ones that are be coming back?
It's gonna help a lot. We got some sophomores that'll start for us, some sophomores that'll get a lot of playing time. So that's definitely going to help. Somebody that's been there, kind of, was had to see the tougher times and see kind of what it takes to get through a season because coming in as a freshman, you don't really understand. 60 games is a lot of games between February, April, and March. I mean, February, March, and April. I'm all kinds of messed up. But in 3 months, you got 60 games. So I mean, you think about it, and you're like, okay, we can do 60, but it's a lot of games. And so some of the sophomores coming back, they kind of understand that and kind of understand the grind and what it takes to be good throughout the season. And they're the good thing about the sophomores, they're pretty hungry and they're looking for a lot more, and so are we as a coaching staff a lot more than where we were last year.
We we had well, Randy and yourself has had a couple of the girls on before. In the previously, I was watching my Falcons win when y'all said that they wouldn't win on that Monday night. But anyway,
That's
that's beside
true.
the point. They ain't won since. But that's neither here nor there. But your sophomores and all that, percentage wise, how many of those girls do you think wants to go on to a 4-year school?
I think it's about 70%, and I think they're all going to have the opportunity to do so. We're doing some things, working some things, and got several of them going on visits the next couple of weeks. So um, I think the majority, I would say 70%, maybe 80, want to continue to play, and they're going to have the chance to.
And I should clarify by saying go on to play at the next level. I'm glad you understood what I was talking about because they will move on from Gadsden State, move on to a 4-year college to get a higher degree somewhere. But
Yeah,
And some will leave with a technical career that
uh,
they don't want to play anymore. I mean, they're ready to start their life
right.
outside of softball.
Yeah, we've got a freshman now who's she started a lot for us in the fall. I believe she may have started every game one of the fall. If not, it was very close. But she's in cosmetology, and that's what she wants to do. So she's going to look at 2 years, and then the only thing that she could do after that is probably add a business degree on top of it. So she'll have the option to keep going and add a different degree or stop when she finishes that second year. But we want players that are looking to go to the 4 year level. Um, and there's nothing wrong with it if you don't want to go. But to me, it makes you strive a little bit, makes you a little more hungry, makes you want to continue to get better because you've still got something else you're working towards at the end, other than just trying to win championships here. So you're going to make yourself better personally for the most part when you want to go to that 4 year. And like I said, we've got a couple that may want to play 2 years and be done, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we don't shy away from it. If you can play and you're good enough, then we'll take you no matter if you want to play 2 or if you want to play 4.
We kind of answered that question I was fixing to ask as far as is that something that you talk to your freshmen about or your incoming freshmen about as far as playing at the 4 year level, moving on after that?
Yeah, we definitely talk to all of our recruits about the possibility of playing at a 4 year, and we kind of have an idea before they ever step on campus if they want to continue to play after here.
Okay. Randy?
I'm done, Coach. Thank you for your time. Thank you. Howie might have some follow up, but you know what? I was unsure of this when we started. I've never been more sure of this journey we're on with you than I am now, and I look forward. I think we're going to have some great storylines in the spring because we'll be competing for titles and championships and playoff positions, and there's going to be a lot of things we can talk about in this spring.
Yeah, no doubt. We've got a roster that I've kind of expressed to a lot of them when they were coming in for their exit meeting what my expectation for this team was, and I think they're on the same level. We've got some good players, and we'll have some good players in the dugout that will be rotating players and role players. And out of 28 players, there's going to be 10 starters. So, but through a 60-game season, all 28 of those players will have some type of role for
Yep.
this program, and I think we're all on the same page there, and kind of heading in the right direction. And I've laid out what my expectation is for the spring, and I don't feel like we should be able to take it lightly, and I don't want to miss that mark that I've set for them as far as on my end, and I don't think they want to miss it on their end as well. So expectations for within this program are very high. I know a lot of people from the outside probably won't have high expectations, and that's okay. That's kind of how we want it to be. But the expectations from within are going to be pretty high.
And Coach, honestly, last year it was getting a field team to the field and competing. This year it's a whole different level. I feel it when I talk to your players. I feel it when I talk to you.
Yeah, it's a different atmosphere. You get the right people on the bus, and good things are going to happen. And right now we've got the right players on the bus and in the right seats, and I think they're bought in, and we have the potential to have a much better spring than we did a year ago. So looking forward to it, and I'm excited, and I'm ready just to see how they grow as players and as people through this next year, and see where we're at when we pick our heads back up in May and see where we're at.
And I'm excited about when we started this. We'd get a few viewers, and as we've grown it, we get more and more. And Howie was talking earlier today. We had you know into the 20s watching live. So that it's exciting where we're going to go with Gadsden softball over the next year.
Oh yeah. I'm excited, and I'm ready to just see this team compete fully. I know the fall we got to see them compete a little bit and see what they got to do, but the next game they play in matters, and
Yep.
we start right out of the gate. We've got Roan and Chattanooga, both good teams. Chattanooga will be nationally ranked when we play them, so didn't shy away from any competition through the preseason before we play conference, because I want to be seeing the best competition that we can before we go into conference, and I think the players are up for it and they're excited for it as well.
Coach, if you need an announcer to enter a hot dog eating contest or something like that, you always got me and Howie too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So appreciate it, Coach. Howie, I'll just turn it over to you and let you take us out when you're done.
Yeah, Coach, a couple more quick questions, and we'll let you go. Reiterate what Randy said. We appreciate your time. Appreciate you letting us go on this journey with you, and looking forward to the spring coming up. And but on you mentioned the exit uh,
Maybe. Yeah.
meetings that you've done and all that. Is that something that you do with each individual player, you and the coaches, or is that something you do just the whole team? How could you go into a little bit of detail on that?
Yeah, so me, Coach Russo, and Coach Delaney this year, we sat in here and every player came in. They had their scheduled time that they came in, and I told them where we felt they were, where we feel like they could be, and what we've got to fix in the off season, what we got to get better at in the off season, so that there's no confusion. I don't want it to be cloudy. I want to be very transparent of where we're at, where they're at, and what we expect from them.
That's cool. So did you also have a full on team meeting before they all exit as well?
No, we will have one. We'll have the full team meeting before we exit for Christmas, though.
Okay. All right, good deal.
Yeah.
Um, Looking forward. Coach Clark's alarm's going off. Is it time to take
That's,
your medicine? Or is
Yeah.
that Randy's? Is that
Yeah.
Randy's alarm going off? Time to take
Blood,
Randy's medicine.
blood
hey,
pressure.
man, I got an excited Christmas. I'm going to share with y'all. My Christmas present is going to be I found out today my daughter at 15 years old had finally choose to follow baptism. So we're having our meeting later tonight to start that process. So I'm very excited.
Yep. Nothing better there. Nothing
Yep.
better than that.
Absolutely. Coach, we appreciate your time. Looking forward to talking to you this coming spring, and now that we know that Miss Coach Clark, Miss Caitlin Clark, is watching and is not scared to make some messages. Maybe we get to know some more about you from her, and that it could be some interesting stories coming in.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure she gives me a hard time, but it's all fun. So
Hey, Hannah Van was the greatest guest in the history of the Tyler Van show. That's all I'm going to say.
he probably begged her before that thing started. I
Uh,
just
we
please.
surprised him
He had
because
no
That's
choice.
right. That's right. I watched that one.
because he'd got a personal foul the week before, so we brought her in to berate him for doing that.
Oh yeah, she will too. She'll yell at him from the bleachers when he's about to get one.
Yes, she will.
So
Absolutely. So if you get ejected from a game, be looking for Miss Clark to come on and reprimand you as well.
yeah, I hope that don't happen this year.
We're praying, Coach.
Yeah, it happened once last year, but I'm hoping we can keep that from happening this year. I didn't get as I try to stay a little bit more calm this fall than falls before. So
Just remember to get ejected in the second game, so you don't have to stick around.
well, if I get ejected in the second game, I have to sit the first game of the next series. So
Ah,
there's
yeah.
no good situation either way.
No, it's not.
Coach, what I've got to ask, what did you do to get ejected? Now we're a G-rated show now, so easy on some of the language.
Well, it was there was a ball that was hit down the line that I thought was a foul ball because it was by about 12 feet, and so I very nicely um, told the umpire that I felt like they had missed it, and then they told me that they had a better view at it, and then I told them that they still missed it. And I didn't care what kind of view they had, and I'm still not sure how they missed it, and that's all it took that day. And I was kind of surprised because sometimes a lot of times it's a lot more. It takes a lot more than that, but yeah, everybody was kind of caught off guard when I got dumped out of nowhere. So
So
yeah,
what'd you end up doing after that?
I had to leave.
I mean, where did you go? I mean, I knew you had to leave, but where'd you go? Just outside the stadium, or
Yeah, yeah, I had to leave. I had to leave completely, and then I actually ended up having to sit two games out later for that. That's a different story, but ended up having to be suspended for two games, so that was fun. So my first game here, actually, first actual game here, I was suspended. So not the first fall game, but the first actual regular season game, I was suspended. So that was nice. That's another story for another day. But
That's the reason we love him, Coach.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of surprised me, but it was. I think it was unwarranted, but that's beside the point. I've not had that umpire since, so we'll say that.
Good deal.
So,
Coach, it's that time of the show. Any shout outs you'd like to give before we get going?
well, I would say to my wife, but she's got put the sad face on there. So, um, I'll say I'll shout out to our players because they put up with a lot, and it's a lot of hard work that we've went through in the fall, and um, it's just going to get tougher as far as the work goes and the intensity. It's going to get tougher as we go ahead, and they know that, and they're accepting the challenge. So, um, just a shout out to them for dealing with us and being able to look forward and um, be ready to work in the spring.
We have one last comment from Miss
I'll,
Coach
yeah.
Caitlin Clark. That was Ava.
Well, at least she didn't put any other emojis because if she had her choice, it wouldn't have been a thumbs down emoji. So she's a handful. I'm not real sure. I think she gets it all from Caitlin and her family. It's not from me for sure. I don't know where she gets it from, but anyway, we're gonna have our hands full with her. There's no doubt. I actually, funny story before we go. I got pulled over on our road the other day, and so instead of pulling off to the side because it's a neighborhood street, instead of pulling off into somebody's yard, I just pulled in our driveway, and I look up, and Ava is in the her bedroom window looking out at me, pointing and laughing. So as the police officer's walking up to my vehicle, so we definitely have our hands full with that one, no doubt about it.
Oh Lord, Coach, I got one of those too. So
Yeah, 4 years old, pointing and laughing because she understood what was going on and she thought it was hilarious. And so the rest of the night, she was telling me I was going to jail.
amen.
Well, that's a great story to end on, Coach. We appreciate that. We appreciate your time. Looking forward to this spring. Is there anything we can do? Let us know, and of course, we'll be in contact as far as when we're going to get started in this with our spring shows, and looking forward to it. And best of luck, and enjoy some time off. I know you've been extremely busy for the last several months, and looking forward to probably a couple of weeks just to being able to sit at home and not have to worry about going nowhere.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
So, so for QB1 Randy Cunningham, I'm the Howard Cheney, star of the show, Ava. No, I'm joking. Star of the Coach Ryan Clark of the Gadsden State softball team. Good night, everybody, and see you come spring.
Yeah, appreciate you.